Section 3, Pilgrimages and Crusades. During the Middle Ages, religious faith led many people to perform extraordinary acts of devotion. For instance, most Christians hoped to go on a pilgrimage at some point in their life. Pilgrims traveled long distances to visit holy sites, such as Jerusalem, the place where Jesus was killed, and Rome. They also visited churches that housed relics or body parts, or the body parts or belongings of saints. Canterbury Cathedral in England was another major destination for pilgrims. So they're traveling on foot or maybe, with an animal to go to these places to see these holy sites, and they would show their devotion through prayer and silence and so on. Pilgrims went on these journeys to demonstrate their devotion to God, to perform penance for their sins, or attempt to cure an illness. A pilgrimage required true dedication, since travel at the time was difficult and often dangerous. Most pilgrims traveled on foot. Because robbers were a constant threat, pilgrims often banded together for safety and sometimes even hired an armed escort, as you can kind of see here. Along the routes of popular pilgrimages, local rulers built roads and bridges. Monks and nuns set up hostels or special guest houses, spaced a day's journey apart. So now you can see this idea of travel starting to form and these little stops along the journey. It's not a safe journey, and these people weren't very rich either. Geoffrey Chaucer, who lived in England from about 1342 to 1400, wrote a popular narrative poem about pilgrims called the Canterbury Tales. His amusing tales are stories that a group of pilgrims tell to entertain each other as they travel to the shrine of St. Thomas Becket in Canterbury. And you will watch a video about that one shortly. You can see here is Canterbury on this map. This would be in England. So they start in London, and then here is the journey to get there. Among Chaucer's pilgrims are a knight, a miller, someone who helps grind crops into flour, a cook, and a prioress, the head of a convent or community of nuns. A second type of extraordinary service that dedicated people carried out involved fighting in the Crusades. The Crusades were a series of military expeditions, as you can see here, to the land where Jesus had lived, which Christians called the Holy Land. During the 7th century, this part of the Middle East had come under control of Muslims. Jerusalem was a holy city to Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike, became a Muslim-controlled city. Between 1095 and 1270, Christians in Western Europe organized several crusades to recover Jerusalem and other sites of pilgrimage in that region. Some people went on crusade to seek wealth, and others to seek adventure. Others went with the belief that doing so would guarantee their salvation. Remember that entry into heaven. Many crusaders acted from deep religious belief. So you can see here many of these crusades. Crusaders started here, say in France, they're going to go this way. Middle of France, go down this way. Holy Roman Empire, border of France out here. Maybe they start in northern Italy. This is where Switzerland is today. And the fighting is generally going to all happen here because what they want to do is regain control of their holy city to make it a safe place for pilgrims to return to, as well as fighting to gain salvation.